Welcome back, everybody. So this is the key for the homework, page 548, 549, from the section 7-8. So go ahead and pause where you need to. We've already gone over this page, so we're going to jump to the next one. Okay, so there's the key for number 13. Take a look. I got screenshots of what your calculator should look like. You don't necessarily need to show like what the window is or anything like that. I'm just showing you what a good window would be to see the intersection point. I might not have had that window because I probably would have hit zoom fit and then zoom out, still showing me the exact same intersection point though. Should have gotten 20.28 or between 2010 and 2011. I've had some people ask me again, how do I know whether to use an exponential regression or a logarithmic regression? Because there's going to be a regression on the test. Obviously, it's going to have to tell you within the context of the problem. You've got to read the problem. If it says use a logarithmic regression, use a logarithmic regression. If it says use an exponential regression, use an exponential. Remember that your calculator does not perform any other logarithm regression other than the natural logarithm. So you don't think that there is another part of the, like a different option. It's only natural log. Only ln reg, which there's number 14. Yeah, don't get confused with that logistic. Logistic is not logarithmic. Okay. All right. Any questions on any of the homework? Anything we would like to talk through or go over? How do we feel on all of that stuff? We feel okay? Again, I think that should be an easy part of the test. So let's talk about the test, because the test again starts tomorrow. What you'll notice that on Canvas that I've posted is I've already posted a review as well as the key to the review. It is not an assignment. Is it suggested? Very strongly suggested that you should do it, okay? But it is not something that you're going to turn in. There's no option to turn it in. So if you're like, how do I submit this? You don't submit it, okay? But again, tomorrow, what's going to happen? Basically, today, I'm going to talk through what's exactly going to be on the test, both calculator and no calculator. And again, that is no calculator at all, not just like a red calculator. That's no calculator. That part is tomorrow. The part that the calculator portion is on Friday, okay? In my opinion, the calculator portion is a bit longer, so that's why we're flipping it. Tomorrow, you're going to come in. I'm going to answer about 15 minutes worth of questions from the review, if you have it. If not, it's no big deal. We'll just start early on the no calculator portion. Does that sound good? By all means, if you have questions on the review, like tonight, you're sitting there and be like, I can't figure out number 10. Can you give me any hints? Send me a message and I'll try to respond back to you pretty quickly. Or if you want to come in early, you got a lot of questions over it. You want to talk through a bunch of stuff, come in early and we can get you squared away. So let's talk about the different types of questions that you're going to see on the calculator versus no calculator portion. All right. All right, so on the no calculator portion, this is the no calculator portion. Now, the no calculator portion is going to look very similar to the no calculator portion of the quiz that you had. Yeah, the 7-1 to 7-4 quiz. That's going to look pretty similar to that no calculator portion of that quiz. All right, so what is going to be on there? Well, writing simple inverses. What do I mean by that? I mean like linear inverses. Not logarithmic or exponential inverses, but just linear inverses. Right? Writing simple inverses. And maybe I'll have you graph simple inverses. Because you had to do that as well on your no calculator portion of your quiz. Changing forms. I mean, that should be easy points right now. Changing forms. What do I mean by that? Going from logarithmic to exponential and back again. Yeah. going from logarithmic to exponential and exponential to logarithmic. Now, this next bullet point is going to cover a lot of different information. Log rules. Not log rules. Log rules. Log rules. That means, you know, how do I simplify with addition? How do I simplify with subtraction? How do I simplify with powers and all of that stuff? What are the special rules to simplification? Also, simple exponential equations. Simple exponential equations. EQs. Okay, simple exponential equations. What does that mean? That means that I could give you different types of exponential equations that you had from section 7.5, but to perform them, you need to be able to do them without a calculator. So if you're trying to work through a problem and you're like, man, I need a calculator for this, you got to try a different method, okay? So there has to be some way to do it without a calculator. You got to figure that out, okay? Yeah, there would be probably easier ways to do that equation if you had your calculator. Boom, pop it into a logarithm and see what happens, or something. But there has to be a way around that. Okay. Also, simple log equations. Simple log equations. That basically means, like, if I can perform a logarithm pretty easily, if I can take a log and turn it into an exponential pretty easily, and it's easily computable, then that's the route to take. Again, if you're looking at a problem and you're thinking, man, I need my calculator to do this, there's got to be some other way around it. There's got to be a different method of solving. And we learned a variety of different methods of solving these equations, so there's got to be a different way around it. There's going to be some transformations. But only ones where I ask you just the equation. No graph. Okay? You don't have to graph exponential or logarithmic transformations on that portion. You will have your calculator when I ask you to graph it, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay? So transformations, just writing the equation, no graphing. Just writing the equation. You know, if I perform a horizontal stretch and then shift it and then like reflect it, what's the equation? No graph, just what's the equation. And then the last thing, is it exponential? Given a table. So that's like numbers 8 and 10. That's like the free and easy points again. I hope that would be pretty easy for you guys. So that's tomorrow's portion. Okay, that's your no calculator portion. That's your no calculator portion. That's what you'll be asked to do tomorrow. Again, very similar to your no calculator portion of your quiz. Like this stuff in here was all on the quiz, and that's a big chunk of it. Obviously, log rules. Okay, this is from section 7.5. This is from section 7.7. This is from section 7.8. Notice that there's nothing from section. Did she just come on? Did she just take a picture of that? Yeah. I knew she was not good. I saw her writing that down. There's nothing from section 7.7. Why is that the case? Because that was all of my E stuff, right? And you can't do that without a calculator. All right, let's take a look at the calculator portion. Okay, let's take a look at the calculator. This is Friday. Okay, this is Friday. All right, this is the longer portion, in my opinion. So we're going to be graphing exponential growth or decay. Okay, we're going to be graphing exponential growth or decay. You're going to be doing exponential growth or decay why decay got capitalized there. Decay word problems. Okay. And then, free and easy points, just like it was on your quiz. Evaluate some logs using your log-based function or using the change-of-base function or change-of-base formula. There's going to be some more extensive logarithmic and exponential equations. Ones that you will have to use your calculator on. And this is where I can add in questions from 7.6 as well. I said that right. Section 7.6 where I've got a log base E, because you'll have your calculators, you can perform that operation. Okay. There will be some compound interest. Did I spell that wrong? Is there an E in interest? No. That's right.
Yes.
Whoa, that's weird. The formula again is A is equal to P times E to the RT. Interest. Okay. That principal times E to the rate times the time. Interesting. Okay, yeah. There are some half-life problems. And that is N, is it N of T? How do we write that? N sub O, and then E to the negative KT. Did we say N of T?
Yeah.
Yeah, N of T. N sub O, E to the negative KT. There'll be some transformations. And obviously here, I will be asking you to graph. But I will be giving you your calculator, so you can kind of check it. Note that again, you shouldn't always trust your calculator, especially with logarithms, right? You got to know what the logarithm should look like and know if your calculator is kind of lying to you a little bit. And then you'll have to perform a regression. Either an exponential or a logarithmic regression, just like what we had on last night's homework. God, I was gonna go. Look, it's like so close. I'm gonna snap a picture and then I'm gonna. Oh, I'm good. I gotcha.
She was like on it.
I know.
She was so worried. She was like, I know, you turned it on.
All right. So this is your test in a nutshell. Okay. These two portions. This is tomorrow. This is Friday. Okay. Any questions generally about the topics? I think at this point it might be best for you guys to just dive into the review and just kind of work on some problems. You'll see an example. On the review, you'll see an example of pretty much, like everything that I could give you. So know that if there are questions about compound interest and half-life, do you necessarily have to do those tonight? No, because that's not going to be on tomorrow's portion. If there are questions about graphing transformations, do you necessarily have to do those tonight? No, but again, you won't get a chance to ask me questions in class. By all means, if you want to come in Friday morning before class and ask me a few questions, that's no big deal. That's totally fine. Just know that tomorrow, the first 15 minutes, that's the only class time going to be reserved to going over anything. Sound good? All right. So long, everybody at home. So long. So long.